Hey, my queens. I have missed y'all so much, and I have finally got to this place where I can do video. So, hey, girl. I know you guys have been asking me about doing video and wanting to see my face, so I am here and I am um, trying to give you what you're asking for. So, let me turn down the music just a little bit. So, we're here. Um, Getting ready for all these new, great, amazing things that are happening in my life and that I'm sure and I hope that are happening in yours. And I just wanted to get back to you and share my life and my journey and where I am right now. So today's topic is my mental, spiritual, and physical journey to LA. This has been something I wanted to share with you all for a very, very long time. And I hope that you enjoy the visual as well as my story. So, first of all, I really want to talk to you. Well, not talk to you, but I want to give you a quote, right? So, I have this book. It's called Oh, So Now You Think You're Grown. And it's not out yet. It's not out yet, but it's going to be out soon. And in my book, it is a self enhancement book for young women. And it has a lot of tools, a lot of ideas, a lot of conversation about, what life looks like for us as women and getting onto this journey. So I said I would take one of my quotes out of the book, but it's not actually my quote. I actually put quotes in the book from characters and people that I admire or something that just caught my eye. Okay, so listen, y'all can say what y'all want, but um, this one thing that I love is Disney, right? I am a Disney fanatic, okay? So I have this quote from Disney movie Brave. I don't know if y'all seen Brave, but it is a great movie. And Merida, she is the main character. So she says in Brave, you control your destiny. You don't need magic to do it. And there are no magical shortcuts to solving your problems. I'm going to say it again. You control your destiny. You don't need magic to do it. And there are no magical shortcuts to solving your problems. Yes, ma'am. That came out of a Disney character, okay? Let me tell you something. If it's one thing I've learned over the years, Disney drops all the gems. Say what you want, it is what it is. Okay? So, back to my topic, my mental, spiritual, and physical journey to LA. Moving to LA was definitely an experience for me and my girls. And the only people that know my journey or know the challenges and the things that I went through are the people that really loved me and that were there for me through the entire process. Um, I have family and friends, even some of my clients that supported me and were my cheerleaders throughout the way, throughout our journey here. So most of you may not know, but I traveled here with me and my daughters, me and my two girls. We took this journey together. To be honest, it had been my dream for years. I mean, going back to before Chloe Ray was born, 2010. Even before that, I wanted to move to LA. And I remember I came out here for an audition, right? And the audition went great. I came out here, I auditioned for a director by the name of David E. Talbert. And I came out here and I had a few dollars. This was years ago. I had a few dollars, came out for like 2 days, stood in line for hours to do this audition. It went great. And then he asked me, well, when are you moving? And my goal was to actually move um, January of the following year. Now, my boyfriend back then, who had become my husband, um, we had been to LA actually a whole month before because I really had it set in my mind like I want to move to LA. We wound up getting pregnant with Chloe the following year, so of course it was kind of put off, and I started doing things to make my dreams a reality while I was in Baltimore, because I had just actually while I was in when I came out here to LA during that time, I was actually living in New York. So it was a whole thing, and I was like, you know what? One of these days, I'm gonna move to LA. I really want to do it. So it took times. It took a little bit of time. Years down the line, I got married. I had two children. I'm still following my dreams. Things had kind of took a back seat a little bit. Um, but in January, I think it was January of 2021, if I'm not mistaken, might have been 2022. I had been separated from my husband for about 2 years. And I was kind of living my life a little differently and learning more about myself. And um, it had been a beautiful thing. It was a lot, but I was definitely learning a lot about myself. And I remember saying to myself, "You are gonna go into this acting, into your acting and your writing career full throttle." Now, I can't say that I definitely went in full throttle, but I began to be brave again. Meaning, the way that I got up and I just moved to New York, the way that I got up and I just moved to Atlanta, and I got up and did a stage play and did all these things. I was back in that space where, no, you're gonna do things for you. You're gonna do things because it's what you want to do, not because somebody else is telling you to do it, or somebody is telling you that you can't do it. Now, I'm gonna be honest. My husband was I'm a risk taker. I'm very adventurous. I'm very spontaneous. I'm a risk taker. He was more of an at-home guy, um, more cautious than I am. He thought things through a little bit more than I did. Sometimes it was to a point where it was more fear than thinking things through. So I remember this one night, it was just me in the house, and I was on the computer, and I said, I want to take a class, but I don't want to take it here. I want to leave and I want to take a class. I looked up summer classes for acting, and I knew I felt like I just needed that spark again. So I found this school here in LA. Nobody was there to tell me no. I went with my first instinct. And nobody was there to tell me no, Chanel, don't do this. Yeah. So I went out. I said I'm gonna fill out this application and see if I get accepted. I sent everything through. They loved me, why I wanted to go to the school and all of this stuff, and they sent me back my acceptance letter maybe about a month later. Y'all, honestly, I forgot. I absolutely forgot about it. I didn't think anymore about it. I forgot. So they sent it back, and I was like, oh my God, I gotta get this money to go, right? Anything that I needed to do to get this money, besides sell my cookies and sell my soul, I was like, I'm gonna get this money. Let me figure it out, and I'm gonna make it happen. So I did that. I had all the money in. I found somewhere to stay. A girlfriend of mine was living in LA, and she allowed me to sublease her place because she's a producer, and so she was like traveling and doing her thing. So she allowed me to sublease her place for a whole month. I had a beautiful place downtown LA. Girl, what I say, I was set, Queens. I was. In the meantime, it was time for me to move out of my place, right? It was time for me to move out. So me and the girls and my mom, because we were all living together, we packed up the house, and I'm looking for a place and looking for a place. And I have a girlfriend, and her name, my girlfriend Nisha, she is one of, I would say, like a spiritual counsel for me. She has helped me and saw me through a few things. And she said, stop looking for a new place in Atlanta. And I was just searching. She was like, stop, focus on LA, focus on everything you need to do to be in LA. So that's what I did. I was being obedient and packed the whole house up. A few days before I left for LA, we finished packing. We moved everything into storage. So my mother was like, girl, you are not coming back. I'm like, Ma, yes, I am. I'm coming back. I set everything up for the girls. I had the girls to go to Texas with my sister for a little while and then go back to Baltimore where they would be spend time with their dad, they would spend time with family, all of that good stuff. So I kind of had everything laid out. Get out to LA. LA was just everything that I was hoping it was going to be for me at the time. Um, I kept feeling this feeling like I was home. I was out with I went out with friends that I met via internet, and they, helped me out. I saw some places in LA and went to and spent a lot of time by myself. And the time that I spent by myself, I started to realize that this was for me. And I kept saying, this feels like home. But I didn't know. Mind you, before I left for LA, to go to LA in the beginning, my best friend was murdered. My best friend got murdered in May of 2022. I was leaving for LA maybe like 2 weeks later. All of these things were hitting and happening to me. I didn't have my house anymore, which I loved, but I knew I had to pack up and leave. My best friend passed away. I was dealing with a whole lot with my relationship. That was in overdrive. When I came back to Atlanta, got back to Atlanta, all of these things were still hitting, right? So, we finally thought we found a place. Me and my babies get packed up. We finally get on the road. Um, what was really hard was taking Harley away from my mother. My mom and Harley have a really tight, really close bond. So that was really hard just to um, break them away and watch them go through this separation. Excuse me, go through this separation. Um, so we got on the highway, we prayed, we got ourselves together. I remember even having to stay at a friend's house before I left because a bad situation happened where I had to, some things like got turned around. And she was like, Chanel, y'all are leaving in a few days. Just come and stay with me. So that was a blessing. I'm so grateful for that. So we got on the highway. And I said to myself, this is about to be an adventure. It took us 4 days to get to LA. We stopped and we stayed in different places. We had a Penske truck. I put my car on the back of the truck, ladies. Let me tell y'all something. I haven't looked at the camera all this time. Let me tell you something. That right there was an experience. I had to step back into such a masculine space. I had to step into a masculine space. Before I left for LA, I was already back in a masculine space. I was I was doing so much. It was something that honestly I was used to. But I had put myself in a space where I started doing things a little softer and making and giving myself um, grace. Like Chanel, you don't have to push it everything to the limit. Oh, but at this point, I had to push everything to the limit. Everything. So I stepped back into this masculine space. And I had to. One thing that I have learned is there's a time to be feminine and there's a time to be masculine. And this right here was my time to boss up and do what I had to do. So I learned how to put my car, when I went to pick up the truck, they had to teach me how to put my car up on the latch, take it back down off the latch. Up on the latch, take it back down off the latch. Or whatever, the hatchback, whatever it's called. Um, I did not, I put it up on there, put my car on there. We drove from Atlanta all the way to LA. So we stopped at like 4 or 5 places. We would stay overnight. And then, yeah, we would stay overnight. I would take like 8 to 9 hour drives. Stop and sleep, get up, do it again until we got to LA. The first 4 hours We wound up hitting, I don't know what I hit. I hit something. Whatever I hit messed up the tires on the car. Okay? We pulled over and got a flat. We were pulled over for almost 8 hours on the side of the highway on our way to LA. Waiting, nobody ever came because I think we left. It was a holiday. I can't remember what holiday it was, but on top of that, while we're waiting, I have a guinea pig and a rabbit. Levi and Babe. Babe is the guinea pig, Levi is the rabbit. Now, I didn't know no better. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. So I had the pets windows down in the car while we were driving in the truck, right? We were driving. I'm like, okay, they have their own little habitats. They're good, windows down. They can breathe, all this good stuff. I know that we're on the side of the highway, so I go and I take them out. I didn't know that they could not be anywhere over like 75 degrees, right? Or they could have a heat stroke. So I'm looking at them and I'm like, something looks so wrong. So I go and I take them out, right? Put them in the car. Put them in the truck. Meanwhile, y'all, this is gonna be so long. I'm sorry. This is gonna be long though. Meanwhile, the damn guinea pig is having a heat stroke. So in my mind, I'm like, I can't let this guinea pig die because Chloe, right? They had just experienced our dog passing away, right? And the last thing I needed was for another animal to die while we were on the highway. So I get the I get the guinea pig together and, throw water on him, put him under the AC. Next thing you know, he's like back to life. So anyway, they drove all the way there with us in the truck. Now, I'm thinking in my mind that I'm good. We have a house when we get to LA. Everything is gonna work out. In the back of my mind, even though my kids did not know, I was losing it because I haven't seen this place. I don't know if this is gonna happen, if it's gonna work out. We finally make it to Vegas, and we stayed in Vegas for about 3 days, 2 or 3 days, because I wanted the girls to relax. At this point, we all love Vegas. I just wanted them to have a good time, let our hair down, and just chill. So that's what we did. Find out in Vegas, we weren't sure we were going to be approved. So now everything is on faith. Everything was on faith. I lied to you not. I have money, but money is like, it's getting low. It's here. It was like getting crazy. We get to LA. We go and see this place, and the guy's like, "Yeah, everything's gonna be good. They should be approving you all. Everything looked great. Great. We stay in this hotel. I believe that night we went and stayed in the hotel. We stayed at this motel, and on top of that, we stayed at like a Motel 6, right? I'm already tripping because, to be honest, I'm a hotel snob. I don't like. I can't stay everywhere. I've been there, done that when I was younger. Now I'm like, no, I can't do that, right? But I know I'm in survival mode. I remember getting out of this truck. It was 10 o'clock at night. We had to drive around for like an hour and a half looking for parking because we had this big truck and we had this car on the back. It was hell. It's already hell finding parking in LA. But can you imagine with a truck what that looked like? Girl, we hear back from the guy and we find out that we did not get the house. We did not get the house. And it was crazy because he had me going. He was like, this is going to be easy. Everything is good. You're not going to have any issues. There's a lot of bidding wars that happen here when it comes down to properties here. So somebody could pay more and less. I don't know. But we didn't get the place. I am at this point where I am on overload with anxiety because I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm in LA with my daughters by myself. I'm protecting them. But this had been my thing and it's still my thing. And I know God has me. Now, I knew God had me then. But I would say all the time, I'm protecting them, but who's going to protect me? Like, who's protecting me? I'm out here by myself I don't know if my plans are working out the way that I thought they were going to work out. God, what is up? What is this? Why? Why is this happening? We find another place. We wind up staying in this place for 10 days. And 10 days, $100 a night. 10 days. During those 10 days, I found another place. Make a long story short, I was scammed. But I thank God that the money that I sent, it paused. I sent money, and I didn't send all of my money because this person was trying to get a lot of money out of me. And I was like, no, look, I can send you this until I have a key and I get into this house. I go to this place and could not get in. Scammed. My money that I sent to her never went through. That was nobody but God stopping the transaction. I'm on the phone with a friend of mine and I'm panicking, and he's like, look, Chanel, I found you another place. Let's go ahead and look at this one. At this point, again, I'm still in survival mode, but now I'm frantic. So I don't even know. I'm barely focusing to make sure that things are what they say they are. I sent an application fee into this person. This guy had me going. He owned the place, his wife, him and his wife, all this stuff. We get to the place. It's supposed to have been a keypad. We went to sign in. We went to go to the apartment to sign in. There was no keypad. I find out by the leasing office that this place was a scam. So at this point, I done broke down. My girls are sitting across from me, and they can see that I am done for. Literally done for. And I was just like, God, what is happening? Why are you putting us through all of this? Now, mind you, the 10 days that I had been in this hotel, I had been complaining. I'm still driving around with this Penske truck. Let's start there. I'm still driving around with this Penske truck. So I'm panicking because I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm taking my car down to go and look for places every day. That's what I'm doing. My girls aren't in school yet because it was the summertime. So everything I do, I had to do it with them. I couldn't work. I couldn't do anything because I had them. From hotel to hotel for another 20 days. Every 2 days, we were moving to a different hotel. Now, by now, I felt myself getting the hang of some things. And I was like, you know what? This is my situation right now. I've driven 35 hours to get here. I'm not going back home. No matter what, God got me. He's seen me through all of this. He's keeping me going. My family is there for me. Meantime, I did not have a, I'm gonna be real because that's what I do with y'all. I did not, my ex was not, I had to block him because the energy that I was getting from him about everything, it wasn't good for me. It was tearing me apart and was putting me in such a bad place. So I had to block that out and focus. I remember waking up one day and I said, okay, Chanel, this is what we're going to do. You are going to have to get rid of this truck. You have to take this truck, put your things in storage, and go. And find you a place. This is going to take some stuff off of you. I called my girlfriend. I have another girlfriend here named Erica. She's an actress as well. And she came when I called. Just like my friend back in Atlanta, Rick. He came and helped me pack up. A day they helped me pack up my house. And my girlfriend Wendy, she was where I stayed. But I called Erica. Erica was like, Chanel, it's all good. I'm gonna come and help you unpack your stuff. Me and Erica, we get out here because by now the girls are in school. The girls got in school. I didn't enroll them and they're good. So now I have my days to do whatever I need to do to make money, whatever. So Erica came to me and we went and we, unpacked everything, got everything put away. And I remember when I took the truck back, I was 10 days past due with that truck, right? I was supposed to have that truck back in 9 days after I got there. The truck they gave me 9 days. So I was an extra 10 days over. We get out there and I'm panicking because I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen. And they say to me, it's okay. We're going to debt your bill. We understand what's going on and what happened. When I say these situations were the reasons why I knew I was supposed to be here. Not only that, but when I first got the truck, my truck total went from $2,000 down to $900 to $700. So when I got this truck, they lowered it down to $500 for me to drive over here. Again, that was nothing but God, because I didn't even know how much it was gonna be for me to actually drive. They told me maybe about 500. It ended up being like 900, right? So it all worked out. That all worked out. So of course I'm like thanking God, because you never know. You never know what a turnout is going to be, but God always seems to have your back and put you where you're supposed to be. I had gotten to a point where, like we were staying in these hotels, and I had finally gotten in my groove a little bit of, getting them to school, what I had to do during the day, all of this type of stuff. And I was still complaining. We had to move every few days, and I just remember complaining like, God, I'm tired. This is a lot. I'm moving. I'm packing up, and moving our clothes and everything from one place to another every few days, right? So we never had a chance to just relax. We were in pure survival mode. This one day I said to myself, I gotta get myself together. And at 5 o'clock in the morning, I went downstairs in the lobby of the hotel where we were staying, and I took my journal, I took my planner, I had my Bible, I had my meditation material, everything that I needed to pour from and pour back into. So pull from and pour back into. I had it with me, and I was like, God, I'm done. I surrender. I surrender my attitude, my anger. I was not feeling as grateful. I was complaining every day, and my mom, the girls, they would all tell me like, Chanel, you got this. Like, it's okay. The girls were so in tune. Like, they did not complain. Y'all, when I say we spent 30 days in a hotel, my daughters did not complain, not once. Not once. Now, granted, I made it as easy as I could for them, but it wasn't easy. It was hard. It was really hard. I had to make sure on some days that, let's go to the park, or let's go to the beach, or do things in the midst of it all just to make life feel like it was normal. But when you have a person, like I said, my ex was not nice at all. And I had to go through and endure a lot of backlash from him. I was dealing with so much inner stuff because I was feeling like I was not a good parent. Like, I felt like I wasn't doing my best. I felt like, why did I do this? I felt so many different ways. And these girls looked at me every day and was like, Ma, you've gotten through all of this stuff, and we drove all the way over here. We weren't going back. It's gonna be okay. They would literally tell me, Harley would say, Ma, I don't know why you crying, because you always seem to figure it out. Every single time you figure it out, it works out. To hear your 6-year-old say something like that means that she's actually watching you. She's watching you, and she's watching your reactions, and she's also noticing that our faith is getting us where we need to go, and it's okay. They were patting my back, holding me. I'm holding them. We were really striving. We were thriving through our situation. And my mother would tell me, Chanel, God is consistently blessing you every single day. No matter what happens, you always seem to pull out of it. Your blessings are raining on you. And look at me. God is pouring into me. He's giving to me, and I'm not giving back to him. I'm not giving him his glory for all that is happening. The universe, God, the spirit, whatever you want to call it, was pouring and was protecting me and making sure that I had what I needed, even as I had to endure all of these things happening to me. But they weren't happening to me, they were happening for me. And I just remember that day, like, Chanel, this is it. God, I'm sorry. Please, I repent on this. I will no longer complain. Because I thank God that anything could have happened. Me and my girls out here by ourselves like this. Anything. We could have been robbed. Wait till I tell y'all. We could have been living on the street trying to figure out how to get back to LA, how to get back to Atlanta. My mom could have turned her back against me. Anything, she would not have, but anything could have happened for me to lack. Anything. Nothing happened. Every single time I turned around, I was like, oh my God, I don't have enough money. Next day, I lie to you not, without me even asking, money would show up in my account. I was protected. So from that moment on, I said, you know what, God, I promise you, I am done. I'm not going to complain. I am giving you my marriage. I am giving you my situation. I didn't complain anymore. I was done with that. And I wrote it down and I said, no matter what happens today, because I tell y'all, every single day something would happen. And I would break down and be like, I don't belong here. This isn't working out. I don't know what to do. This isn't it. What are you going to do? I was going through all of that. God, why are you forsaking? Like, I was going through it. My faith was just dwindling away. I was dwindling away. I was not believing in myself whatsoever. I forgot. I forgot who I was. I forgot who God was to me. I forgot about my support system. When I got myself together, I felt a peace. Like, you know what? No matter what happens, girl, you're going to get through this. You're about to make all of this happen. I go to my car, y'all, and my car had been broken into that same day. Now, granted, I had an issue of locking my car doors, right? Because I had lost my key. So sometimes the key with the remote. So sometimes I would forget that I had to lock my door. This was my first car. I had to lock my door. And I didn't. I come back. All of my hair equipment is gone. The money, y'all. This was the money. All of my hair equipment was gone. They stole like some of Chloe Ray's stuff. I think they stole like my whole bag of shoes. And if you don't know, I am a shoe whore. So I was really hurt. Like, I know they didn't take my bag of shoes, right? So I was cool. I was like, you know what? It's okay. All of those things can be replaced. I thank God that whoever it was did not catch me and my daughters at gunpoint and take from us. I thank God for that, right? So I got to, I went back to the room, got the girls, said, listen, y'all, this just happened. I'm going to take y'all to the pool. Just go ahead and enjoy yourself at the pool, right? I went to the front desk and I let them know what happened. They refunded me on the hotel, and the police called and was like, hey, we're at the lobby. Okay, cool. So I get in my car and I drive around. So it was funny that me and the girls had just been talking about, like, it doesn't matter, things happen and we always seem to come back. I said, wouldn't it be funny if we drove around and our stuff was out here? I said, because whoever took it was probably a homeless person. And if they took those things, they were looking for something, they're probably not going to find it. I lie to y'all not. I turned the block where the hotel was, and all of my stuff was spread. All of our stuff was spread out across a parking lot. And I burst out laughing so hard, like, God, you are something else. Like, this is crazy. I got out. I called the police. Like, they dumped all of our stuff here or whatever. Got out, packed all of our stuff up. I think it was like a few things gone. Like, my shears were gone, which cost me a lot of money. But at the same time, it is what it is. They took, like, Chloe Ray's picture of her best friend and weird stuff. But nothing was missing. All of my shoes were there. I'm crossing myself. If y'all you can't. Oh my God, all of my shoes were there. So I was definitely like, Lord, you are, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. You know, a few days later, we wound up finding our home. And I have this thing about the number 22. It's my number. It's very sentimental and sacred to me. I have a backstory behind it. I have a necklace that has 222 on it. And I get to meet the lady for our house. And I go to see the house. And our house is pretty small. It's just for us. It's not big at all. It's enough space for me and these girls. And when I walked in, it was nicely done. It's modern. I get in here and I'm like, oh my God, this is our house. And I'm like praying over the house and I'm just like, this is our house. I know it is. I can feel it. A few days later, the lady called and she said, you got the house. And when I looked outside and I saw, now, I don't care if you say I'm crazy or not. I'm really big on numbers, angel numbers, all of those things. They have a meaning. Everything around you has energy and has a meaning, has some type of spiritual connection. That is my belief, period. So I go outside and the address, the number on the front of the building was 2121. And I knew that was my house. I said, that's 222. That's my house. And she called us and she said, that's our house. And we came here and I brought the girls in and we sat in the middle of the floor. Nothing was here. We sat in the middle of the floor and I just thank God. I just thank God because, y'all, it takes everything out of me not to cry. I thank God because that was the realest experience. I had been through some stuff, right? I have put myself in situations and just got up and did whatever, moving. And this time, this tested everything about me. Everything about me. I had to keep when I say I had to have crazy faith just to drive across the country by myself. Just to realize that I didn't have a lot of money. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I didn't have a lot of money. I didn't have a job set up. I didn't have a whole lot of plans. I just knew that it was time for me to leave. And I knew that because God was telling me, it's time for you to go. And it's time for you to believe in yourself a little bit more than what you have. You weren't put here just to be Chloe Ray and Harley's mom. You weren't put here to keep yourself in a box. And it's time for you to believe in yourself the way that everybody else around you believes in you. So what are you going to do? Are you going to man up? Because that's what it was. Or are you going to keep complaining about what it is that you want to do, but you're barely going after it? This tested everything about me. My mental space. There were days I would wake up like, I don't even want to be here. Because I had somebody already attacking me. The enemy knew, in the physical and in the spiritual, how to attack me. When you talk about I'm not being a good mother, or when you talk about my faith, or when you talk about the moves that I make, I knew, and because I wasn't feeling strong at that moment. So attacking me wasn't that hard. And I'm telling you, there were days that I was just like, I would drop the girls off to school and I would be like, oh my God, I don't need to be by myself. Oh my God, I don't need to be in this quiet space. I don't need it. Because it's an attack on my mind. It's an attack on everything that I have going on right now. When you get a word, or when you feel in yourself like it's time for me to do something, you can't second guess it. And sometimes you can't see the whole picture. And that's real, because I didn't see the whole picture. Literally, God kept me blind. When I say blind, I had been scammed 2 to 3 times coming out here. We didn't have a house. The money was, like I said, the funds weren't funding, okay? It was by the grace of God and my mother and people around me that believed in me, that knew, Chanel, you can do this. Here, let me sow into you. Or, Chanel, you better go out and get this money. Whatever, I went out and I did what I had to do. I had to sell my cookies and I had to sell my soul. But I got what I got to make sure that I had a place for me and my girls. To make sure that every single day we had food, we had money. I had to make sure we had gas money. But God kept me hidden. He kept my eyes blinded so that as I moved through this situation, I could only say thank you to him. I could only give him the glory for allowing me to get as far as I got. Because there were so many days when I tell you, like I said, I didn't see it happening. I didn't see how I was getting over here. Especially when I first found out that truck was $2,000. He said, go anyway. Go anyway. I went and picked that truck up. She said, no, we're going to take it down to $500 for you. I said, oh, this is crazy. I walked out of there with a $2,000 truck that was $500. I paid $500 for to drive me and my daughters across the country. In the midst of all of that, anxiety still showed up because now, just like coming to LA, I talk the talk. Now I gotta walk the walk. I done made it here. I've gotten a home. Okay, Chanel, now what's next? This journey for me has built my resiliency. It has tested my faith. It has shown me who is here for me and who really wants to see me win. There were friends and family. There were friends, I would say, more so friends and some family who would call me every few days just to make sure that I was okay, just to make sure my mental status was okay. Because in a situation like that, when you really don't know what the outcome is going to be, your mental status can go off the handle. And that's what was happening to me. Physically, I was exhausted. Physically, I felt like I didn't have much left in me. But every day that I woke up and I said thank you and I became more grateful for the situation I was in, I lie to you not, the better it got. The moment I got rid of that truck and I put my stuff in storage, things were getting better, even though it got scarier that I didn't have my own place. Even though that was always in the back of my mind, my living situation was getting better. The hotels were amazing. Food was good. Money was good. I was okay. I had to remind myself that when he says he's putting you in the wilderness, whether it's spiritually, mentally, or physically, he's going to get you out of there. And all you have to do is stay on course, stay focused, and stay obedient. And listen to your heart. If you're being told this is something that is for me, don't waver that. Believe in that. Know that that is real. What you are feeling is real. If it's time for you to make that move, or if it's time for you to give up on something and start something new, do it. Right now, I'm dealing with that right now. Just something else that I want to do. I have to get myself back in a space. Sometimes I have to look back into what seems like a year ago. It was only, I don't know, like 7 months ago. I'm coming up to a year in LA, and it doesn't even feel like it. I got here in August of 2022. It is now April. My birthday is in a few days. But it is now April, and yeah, it's gonna, and I made it this far, so I know God is gonna get me further. I know I'm gonna get me further. I know that I can get to where I need to go. Now I just gotta go from this space where I am and go to the next. So I just wanted to share my story with y'all. I wanted you to be inspired by it. I wanted you to know that you are not the only one that's going through peaks and valleys and, battling with something or battling on your journey, spiritually, mentally, or physically. You're not doing this by yourself. Know that you are protected, even when it feels like there's nobody there. Even when you're feeling lonely, you're feeling like there's nobody here to make me feel like I'm okay. Just know that you are okay, girl. You are okay. Everything that you need. You know what? I've been looking in space and everywhere else. You need to see me. You need to know this is what I'm saying. You are okay, girl. I promise you. I promise you. It's going to look like life is not happening the way that I want it to happen. Things are not looking up the way that I thought they would. My plans are not my plans. Your plans really were never your plans. But just know that you're getting through it. You're going to make it through it. No matter what the obstacles are, no matter what the situation is, close your eyes, surrender yourself, and remember that there is a higher source and that you got this and that they have you. You are protected. So I know my story was long. Y'all have no idea. I've been here for a long time working on this. And I don't even know how long this is. I know I'm going to have to chop some stuff up. But I wanted to say thank you. Thank you for pushing me to do this. Because I'm not, I know I do so many different things. But to be honest, I'm a little shyer than what you think I am. I don't really care to put everything on camera like that. So this was easier for me than I thought it would be. So for all of you guys who reached out and said, Chanel, we want to see your face. Here's my face. And I want to say thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Queen's Corner. I love you, girl. See you later, Queens. Bye. Thank you for tuning in to another fire episode of the Queen's Corner. Please like, subscribe, and share with another queen. Love you, girl.